Hello everyone and welcome to Spyro the Dragon on Sony PS1. I am Welsh Sheep and this is a phenomenal game, one of my favourite games of all time, something I have grown up with, I have played through countless times. This is one of the greatest games ever made, and obviously it involves a dragon, and this is him by the name of Spyro. And of course, as you'd expect, I'm Welsh, we have a dragon on our flag. What's more, you know, it's kind of like bread and butter, go perfectly. But like I said, this is the original Spyro the Dragon released on the Sony PlayStation 1, the second game made by Insomniac.
Okay, rolling.
Oh, it's been peaceful here in the Five Worlds, or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000?
What about this Ganasty Ganort character? Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Nork is a simple creature. Simple! He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom. No threat! Besides, he is ugly. That does it!
Looks like I've got some things to do.
Oh, fantastic. That was the worst Spyro voice you probably ever heard. So yeah, the plot of the game is basically that Ganasty Ganork character has trapped all of the dragons into statues, and what we need to do is go to each of these statues and actually free them.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Alright, so yeah, they're the main MacGuffins of this game. So this is basically a collectathon platform where we need to go around, collect gems, and free dragons from their captivity. For example, Delbin by here.
Where's Nasty Nork? I'll torch him.
Keep your horns on, Spyro! You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing? His name is Sparks, and he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
Now, whenever you collect each of these, the dragons are collectibles. Whenever you help one of these dragons, they'll usually give you a bit of advice, or either say, thanks for releasing me. And basically, what he mentioned there was Sparks, which is the dragonfly that's following you. He's basically your health indicator and will change colour depending on how much you get hit. First time you get hit, he changes blue. The second time, he turns green. And the third time, he disappears altogether, which means you can die if you get hit one time after that. Now, every enemy in this game is also a gem, so whenever you see an enemy in each of the stages, you're going to want to go after them and kill them, because obviously, their enemies, the bad guys, gotta get those gems back. Now, this is the first home world, and there are 5 or 6 home worlds in the entire game. Inside each of these home worlds, you basically have portals. These portals will take you to the normal levels of the game, where you have to do the exact same thing you see me doing here, which is collecting everything in sight. Now, this is a brilliant, brilliant game, I have to say, and like I said, you need to collect everything. This is a traditional collectathon platform, kind of like in the vein of Banjo-Kazooie. And like I said, this is Insomniac's game's second ever game developed. The first game being a game called Disruptor on the PlayStation 1, which was essentially a Doom clone. I'm kind of glad the second game went for a platformer, because I always love my platformers, always have and always will. But like I said, collect all the gems and stuff. And rescue this guy, Argus.
Cool Flash, do that again.
The artisan's boss is through a portal in the Dragon Mouth, but you are not yet ready, Spyro. First you must complete one of the other artisan lands.
Of course. So, for this walkthrough, LP, I'm gonna go 100%, and you see these sheep! Go back, go see the sheep, oh! But basically, the sheep and sort of wildlife you'll normally run around and recognize in the levels. They kind of like health pickups. You kill the wildlife and they'll become food for your dragonfly, which will mean you can get more health from them, which is very well and good. It's fantastic. This dragon statue I just picked up is also an extra life. You will see me get loads of extra lives, and this is not a hard game apart from 1 or 2 levels where certain things become a bit stupid. I'll get into those when I get into those, but the game overall is actually a pretty easy game and very straightforward. You just collect everything in sight and just explore. It's fantastic. What can I say?
Hey, Spyro! Press the jump button twice to glide. And don't be afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks? Plummeting into prehistoric glaciers?
Oh, that.
That's nothing big. It's not a big deal. But, throughout this, like I said, you have to kill enemies as well to get hold of gems. Now, some enemies, like this guy by here, will actually take 3 hits to kill as opposed to the usual 1 hit. Most enemies in this game only take 1 hit, but you have 2 choices of ways to actually dispose of them. You can press the circle button to unleash a burst of fire, because obviously you're a dragon, that's what dragons do, and you can actually charge them with a square button. The charge attack kind of acts like a basically you can use it to run fast. You can use it as like a speedrunning move. And for enemies that are shielded with metal, you need to kill them using the charge attack as opposed to the fire attack, because obviously fire doesn't go through metal, but charging will just blunt force impact. It'll kill them. So there's that. But like I said, most of this game really just stresses on the whole explore everything in the environment idea. And for the gems, as you can tell, we're picking up multiple colored gems. Different colors equal different values. For example, a red gem is worth 1 gem. If you pick up a green, it's worth 2. If you pick up a blue gem, it'll be worth 5 gems. If you pick up a yellow, it'll be worth 10, and if you pick up a purple, it'll be worth a whopping 25. But there we go, there's 100 out of 100 gems in this homeworld, so now we're going to go to the very first stage of the game. But yeah, you're basically going to be moving through stages, collecting everything in sight, killing every enemy you see, and just overall collecting things. And this, obviously the homeworlds are the easiest stages in the game, because there's practically no challenge in them. They're literally there to traverse and get from area to area. Now the normal stages like this are where the meat of the game actually takes place. For example, this stage is really open. And speaking of open, one of the things that sets this game apart from most collectathon platformers, apart from the fact you're a dragon, and the fact that everything is all medieval, is basically the fact that this is the most linear collectathon platformer I've ever seen. You don't need to collect barely anything in comparison to what you can collect in the game to complete it. Gavin!
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power. When he eats butterflies, he stays strong. Like me.
Sure.
Naturally. Although I don't see any other dragons with a dragonfly. No wonder they're getting taken down by Nasty Nork easily. But anyway, this box by here, you can't break it, you need to actually find a key in the level. But as I was saying, this is one of the most linear collectathon platformers out there, because you don't need to collect everything to get through the game. You only need to collect like 20% of half the collectibles, I believe. Something tiny. And you'll get basically, whenever you reach a new homeworld, if you go to the balloonist guy, which is you'll see later on in the playthrough, he transports you from different worlds, and he'll tell you exactly how much you need to progress to the next world.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
Nah, I never ran into trouble. But yeah, like that guy said, every time you touch a new dragon or go onto one of the warp pads, it'll automatically save your progress and act like a checkpoint. So if you die, you'll respawn at the nearest dragon that you've been to. So it's very useful to try and go out of your way to collect dragons. Not only because you have to, but because it's recommended. So anyway, here's the last dragon, and there's a teleporter gate. If you go into the teleporter gate, you'll return home.
Pay
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
Fair enough, and what we're going to do now is actually not go straight back home, because we are actually going to progress through this entire game 100%. We're going to 100% every single level before leaving, which means jumping down into this beach here and moving into this hidden cave. Now, one of the best, that's the key that opens up the metal chest we saw earlier as well. But one of the best things I do find about this game is the fact it is really open-ended, and one of the things that I remember hearing about back about this when it was first in development was one of the things they really wanted to do is give you a feel of open-endedness, and they did that by making really open environments, really big vast land that you can actually go through and explore all of. And the way they pulled it off was actually a trick that further in the distance things are actually a lot lower graphical density than when they're closer to you, and a lot of early 3D platformers like this, and even some standard games today, actually make use of this trick to try and make the draw distance of the game really big. And trust me, the draw distance of this game is pretty huge. The only thing you can't see in distance that far are like enemies and gems, but even then you still get a little glow in the distance to let you know, hey, there's a gem over there, I should fly and get across there. But like I said, certain enemies you can only hurt by certain ways. Like those shepherds, you can only hurt them by flaming them. If you try to bash them with the charge attack, they'll basically shrug it off and be like, hey, come on bro, you can't do any more than they're like ninjas with sticks, you can't do anything to them. But you'll also see tiny little, every now and then you see little magical vortexes like this by here. These basically act like lifts that'll lift you to a different area of the stage.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet.
For the longest glide, press the X button at the top of a jump, and try pressing the triangle button to drop down in mid-flight.
Not bad, not bad. So that is one move you're going to make use of all the time in this game. If you press the X button twice, you'll glide. Gliding is your most important thing. You will need to use this almost every single level to get across to certain areas like this one, for example, where it's just a massive open field. Be careful though, if you go into the ocean, Spyro can't swim in this game, so water is a really bad thing for you. In the sequels, they sort of made it so you can swim, but unfortunately, this is the original in the series. You're going to have a couple of issues like that. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, you're a dragon. Dragon breathe fire. Fire and water don't really go well together, do they? But anyway, up by here is a new type of enemy, the egg thieves. And I'm just ignoring him completely. There we go. Where'd he go? Okay, he's disappeared. But basically, the egg thieves are certain enemy types in this game that are carrying eggs. Now, eggs, I think eggs are like a last-minute addition to this game, and I'll get into why a bit later on. But for now, we're just going to chase him down, and what you need to do to chase him, he usually goes in a set route. So chase down the egg thief and either burn him or just charge directly into him to get the egg off him. And the egg will... It's not required to actually get hold of, because I think if you get all the eggs and the normal collectibles in the game, wow, that was horrible, you can actually get hold of 117% completion, I believe it is. So, really, you don't need the eggs. The eggs are really optional. Apart from one section in the game where you need them to traverse to a different world, but there's only once in this game you require that, and in that same world that you need them to traverse to the next world, they'll lob the last of them at you instantly. So really, egg thieves are no big deal. So yeah, in this stage, very easy stage, we basically got, there's 200 gems to collect in this level, and we've already collected all of the dragons that need to be freed. So we're just going to move across this meadow and keep looking for the last couple of gems. Now all the last couple of gems are in this meadow, I believe, if I remember correctly, so I just missed them horribly earlier on, because you do need to look in between trees, and you need to look for chests, because I think it was a chest I missed. No, I didn't miss a chest. Or did I? I might have missed a chest. It's been a while since I recorded this. But yeah, fantastic game. The music is really well done. It's not the most memorable soundtrack in the world, but it's perfect because The music's there, and it gives you that feeling of exploration, and I like it. But with that, folks, that is the end of this part, so thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, appreciate a like or comment to the video, don't be sheepish people, and when we return next time, we'll go into part 2 and explore the rest of the Artisan homeworlds. Thanks for watching, see you then. Bye! Okay, I ended off a bit early, so now I'm going to go over to the next level, which is Dark Hollow. Bye!